So how is it there?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just quite a busy day, and no, I'm just a developer. I'm a WordPress designer and a developer. So I just try to get as much as possible, what to do for myself, and I try to write my proposal on Upwork,
Okay.
and it has been very, very stressful recently when I go back from state. And my I have to change my location to Nigeria because I'm in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Um, so for that fact, it affected my gig. I cannot land a job easily because I'm no longer in the US. I'm in Nigeria. So that's really, really hectic for me right now. Currently I've just gone over like $150,000 within a year. I was able to get up to $150,000 within a year, and WordPress design, WordPress development, WordPress bug fixing, and heavy other stuff like that. So that's what I do.
And and that's 150,000 per year?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a
Yeah.
really good income. And that's just from that. Is that are you an independent or are you doing an agency with this?
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is my profile. Yes, I'm just independent. I'm trying to work on my agency. I'm trying to promote myself, and that's why I created WP Fix Design, WP Design Fix. And well, I've not been able to convert properly with this portfolio website. I just share with my customers on Upwork whenever they ask for my portfolio site. So I'm trying to
Hmm.
build up my agency, but it has not been a good one for me. And
Yeah.
also, I have a blog. I have a blog where I try to help um, freelancer, Upwork, and Fiverr. I just create this blog. I design it myself, and I try to get writers to make content on the Upwork guide and other stuff like that. So those are the two projects I do myself.
Hmm. So usually when that sort of thing happens, and I'm kind of in the same boat. So um, I switch, like my wife is Brazilian and I'm Canadian, so we go back and forth from Canada to from between Canada and Brazil. So there is a little bit of difference there in terms of people's perceptions of different countries. So it's really important to decide, like, to figure out whether it's like your pricing or how you're communicating and just kind of building everything into that so that you can just build up that trustworthiness, right? So one of the ways that I like to really do it in terms of, because you said that you were really struggling with the pitch side of things, like you're doing a lot of pitches, but no one's really getting back to you in terms of that, right? So it's not converting.
Yep.
And then you send the
Yes.
portfolio to them and they don't and they're still not converting. Like you've seen just your work just drop off recently, right?
Yes. Yes. Let me
Okay.
show you. Let me show you this. Just a real quick. Can you see my screen?
Hmm.
All right. So going to my start. Um, like right here, I have this really drop within 1 and 2, like since July 17, my drop began. So I had to contact Upwork support, and I sent them a mail that why is my profile dropping? Like I shouldn't be getting such a result, like my conversion. And in 90 days, I was growing, like I was moving very, very quite well. So the
And
moment it
then it just
started
dropped off.
dropping, yeah, it just dropped off. So I have to call the support, and now the support just did one or two things, and I see uh today I see that there is a conversion today after I contacted the support. Now I'm getting back my to my track gradually because
Yeah,
most of my
that's not
yep.
yeah, sorry, that's not really going to be dictated too much about like contacting support and getting them to do it, because what can happen is that people can limit their, like, customers can limit their search to certain areas, so that can affect your search as well. But really what we want to focus on when we're doing those types of things and optimizing our profiles for getting people to find us like organically is really just to focus on keywords. And one of the ways that I always get keywords is if you go into like LinkedIn, I can show you how to do it really quickly if you want to. If you can open up
Okay.
LinkedIn, I can show you how to do it. It's one of the
All right.
strategies that I use for figuring out like what I want to write on my profile to make sure that I'm getting the best response from clients. So if you go up to the search, and you said you're a WordPress developer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so just type in WordPress developer and then search by jobs.
WordPress developer, I should search by job.
Yeah, so just hit enter and then it'll ask you whether it wanted like posts or people or jobs, but just go to jobs at the top.
Yep.
And then it's okay, it's set for United States. So what I usually do here is I find, and this is going to take a little bit of research, but if you can find like 10 from different companies in the United States, what you can do is where you see in the job description under responsibilities and then must-haves,
Yeah.
you want to look for like commonalities that people are writing there, because those are going to be basically what we call, like, from writing blogs, like long tail keywords. What are common things that people are writing in their hiring posts in order to find developers, right? Because these are obviously recruiters doing it, or it could be technical directors posting these jobs, or anyone really. It could be a graphic designer posting the jobs, and that comes to another point that I'll get to soon. But what you want to do is that you want to take I would take 10 from different companies throughout the United States and look for the commonalities of what they're saying, because they're going to write it in a certain way, and you always want to format your profiles the way that your clients speak. So if you see like certain word patterns over and over again, I would highlight those and then just make sure that those are added to your profile. So can you bring up your Upwork profile again?
Okay. All right. Yeah, it is.
So if you're looking for, so one of the first things that I would do here is that you see how you have it right at the top. You're under your all work category, which most people go to. When people first land on your profile, it always defaults to this all work section, and you have WordPress or web design, WordPress design, Elementor Pro specialist, and SEO expert. So what I would do there is I would make sure that you have the keywords like development and developer put into those. So you could have like WordPress developer, Elementor Pro, development specialist. So this will increase those main keywords. And the way that like that's really like obvious ways to do it, because you want to make sure that people looking for developers, your profile stands out that way. But still, you want to go back to that LinkedIn research, like find out the keywords that people are actually using it, because people will type in things differently, right? Like people might be typing in WordPress as word and press separately. And if you see that that's very common, even though it's technically incorrect, you still want to write the way that your clients are writing, right? So, it might look incorrect to other developers, but other developers probably aren't going to be hiring you. It's probably going to be companies hiring you, and they're going to be the people that are typing this stuff in. So, if someone's looking for WordPress and they're typing in word space press, then you want to have that in your profile as well. Again, even though it's wrong, like technically wrong, it's like people still type it in that way. And just that's the way I always find keywords for my profile when I'm writing it. And I get a lot of response, even though I'm in Brazil. So I have the exact same issue as you do, because when you're in Canada or the United States, it's really easy, because everyone looks for people in North America, because North Americans like working with North Americans. And it's a bit of a limiting factor there, that some people don't reach out beyond their kind of local area, I guess you would call it. But that's okay because you can get around it with just better profile writing. So yeah, like anything there that you can add in is going to really help, you know, especially from the from job posts. So
Alright.
can you bring up, so does that help you there?
Yes, yes, perfect. Like I'm so impressed.
Yeah, so
Because that is really really great. Well, I've actually done something related to that, but I didn't really thought about picking my recruiter keyword. No, all I just did was I go through other people's profile like this. Let me show you how I just try to go through other people's profile like WordPress. Let me just say WordPress design,
mhm.
and once I get to their profile, the next thing I do is I check through their I take through their job title, the first job title. Then I scroll down to the profile. I see whatever keyword that is here.
Mhm.
I look at everything. Then I that's
Yeah,
I use
like
that
that
one
is
of
a
my
good,
profile
that's definitely a
description of
good,
my keyword.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. That is definitely a good way of doing it. But the only issue with that is that, again, it's kind of you're finding keywords by people who know what they're doing, right? And they know specifically what
Yes,
their job task is. So, like, you know, like I know a lot about graphic design, I know all the insides and outsides of it, and you know all everything there is to know about development. But I guess the issue becomes is that people hiring you are hiring you because you're the expert and they're not. So they want you to do the job. So, but they don't really know how to communicate it as well as you do. So when you copy other people's profiles, you're copying kind of the same issue. You're not talking like the client, you're talking like another professional, which is good. And it does get you kind of a start, but you know, clients sometimes don't know to ask or don't even know what the acronym UI UX means. So, you know, you may want to add that out, like, or like expand on that, like, you know, user experience design, user interface design,
yeah,
you know, user research, those types of keywords. They don't usually know the acronyms to things, which is perfectly fine. Like
yes,
when I
yes.
when I look at like salespeople talk on like LinkedIn and they're like AE and SDR and CAC, I have to like Google those terms, although I kind of know most of them now, but I have to Google those terms. So if I think about it from like a client's perspective, I may not know that I need an AE, but I know that I need an account executive, right?
Yes,
And I may not know
yes,
that I need a SDR, but I know that I need a salesperson, which is basically the same thing, like sales development representative, you know, but you know, these are the
yeah.
types of ways of speaking more like a client. So when you're writing profiles, make sure to speak like clients, and you can find it through LinkedIn as well. So if you go back to LinkedIn, I can show you another way of
Okay.
doing it, another way of finding some like more information. So if you, because you're in jobs now, just go back out, just hit the LinkedIn logo there,
Okay.
just the icon in the top left to go back to the home page. So it just clears the search. So your WordPress developer, just type in something like website developer and we are hiring.
Website developer.
And then
We
after
are
that, type
hiring.
in and we are hiring, like AND, because that makes it included in the
Okay.
keyword search. So, and type in,
Wow.
yeah. So this will probably give you some posts. If you scroll through some of the posts, if you find people that, hold on just one sec, my dog's barking.
Okay.
My dog was barking. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you go into LinkedIn, okay, so yeah, go to the second one down. like, hello professionals, I'm currently hiring a full stack developer role. So there's an interesting one, is that they're calling it a full stack developer. So that might be something to make sure that you include. I don't know if there's more to that, but this is one of the ways that I find a lot of clients on LinkedIn, is that you can literally just type in like what you're doing and we're hiring or looking for. There's a lot of different variations of it, and it's a bit of a manual process, but it does really help. And it will help you build
Yeah,
up like the keywords too, and to see who the people that are hiring you, what are they
yeah.
calling your position? That's the most important thing for you to figure out, you know?
All right. Yeah, that's reminds me. I happen to have my higher gig from design. You know, we have two different things. We have development and design. So that's why I tend to stick to design than to stick to WordPress development. Like, look at this. This was my last job before I moved down to Nigeria. Um, this was basically development work. This was my highest bid job, which is about 90,000 plus. And
Hmm.
this is full development. This was full development from scratch, building a website builder. And the rest basically WordPress SEO, WordPress design. This is also a development work. I have to build my plugin development and other stuff like that. So now, so I'm considering having WordPress design niche than WordPress development, because I realize that most business are after website design. They are after most design. Everything is about design recently, and
Yeah.
that is what I notice about things right now. Development, they see development as one kind of complex project. That is most people thought. And at the end, by the time you take the project, you realize that what they need is just a simple design.
Yeah.
So that happened a lot. So that's why I try to niche down to web design. And if you see here in my profile, I have web design, I have
Hmm.
WordPress design, and I also have the tools for the design, which is Elementor Pro. And
Hmm.
then I do most of SEO, like technical SEO and on-page SEO only.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. Basically, I actually have idea of four different type of SEO. I have the local SEO idea, which is using Google My Business and optimizing the services. The on-page SEO is basically used for my content writing on my blog post, and the off-page SEO is when I'm trying to get a backlink for guest posts using guest post method and other stuff like that. That's for the off-page SEO. And for the technical SEO, that's when I work on the speed of the website using Google, using the Google page insight to work on the speed of the website.
Yeah.
So that is the speed and design. That's the technical SEO most part, and the Google Search Console. So these are the kind of idea I put in together to communicate with my customers, my clients, so that they
Hmm.
can have the belief and trust in what I'll be the service I'll be offering them. And I think I do more of SEO as well, and more of speed design, site design, and speed optimization. That is what I noticed recently when I started putting in my effort my in my work. And
Hmm.
I do little of development, and that is only when it is required. Probably a PHP plugin develop, someone just think of an idea and want to convert the idea into a full development website. So I have to make use of kind of programming like the PHP, the Bootstrap, coming with the Bootstrap way and getting the development done for the custom request. So
Yeah.
regarding your explanation, I suggest, why can't we go this way? Since we are talking about LinkedIn, we talk about take for example web design, and we are hiring, and we can always get people hiring for web design. I mean, let me use WordPress design and we are hiring, then most people are not kind probably possibly maybe my location actually they are not really this is not it.
Yeah, one of the ways that you can do that, and it kind of it depends on how you're going to use the tool. Like LinkedIn, I see as a tool, so I want to optimize it the best for me.
Okay.
So because I'm not too worried about like having it as like a friends platform like Facebook or Instagram. So I'm not really worried too much about following friends. So what I do is I make sure that I unfollow or mute a lot of people that might not be my potential clients, because I'm using LinkedIn really as a platform to get customers, right? It's very similar
Wow.
to Upwork. It's not for me a social platform, although it's like social media. It's not like a platform where I just chat with friends and things like that. So these are professional platforms for me. So I make sure that the people that I'm listening to and the people that I'm talking to are potential clients. So I'm gonna unfollow or mute people that may get in the way of those search results. So that might be one of the reasons that your feed is featuring like a lot of like friends or people close to you, is because you may be following a large group within your community, which is great to do. But the problem is it does skew the search results if you're looking for um, something like professional development within a certain area. So if you're looking for people in the United States, follow a lot of people from the United States that could be potential customers, and those are easy to find because you can just do it through the job search, figure out the titles of the people that are typically hiring for your role, whether they're technical directors or marketing managers. And that even comes to another more complex thing, is that's writing like customer profiles. So like, who are your three or four customers, and that's a lot. That can be like a 10-hour conversation. But one of the easiest ways to figure out who your customers are and make sure you're following the right people and you're getting those people in your feed, and not just like local community people who are just kind of like everybody,
Yeah.
is to kind of think of yourself on like a timeline of a project. So if you're a website project, if you're doing a website design project or website development project, you're going to be dealing eventually with the person that owns the business at the very beginning. And then they've probably hired like a technical director or a marketing manager, and then who has hired a copywriter, who has hired a graphic designer and a developer, and then a marketing manager on the other end to deploy it, and a QA specialist. So you kind of have to identify all these people along the line of the project that you're working on. And then those become basically your clients. Those are the people that you're looking to connect with, because those are all part of that project, the projects that you do. So that's one way to identify who your clients are really quickly. So if you know that it's, founders can be a pretty wide range, and can give you a lot of results. But then more specialized people would be like a technical director who's going to be hiring the development team, and then because you've done some bigger projects like $90,000, like that's a very, very good sized project, especially on Upwork. So, you're probably working with, like, you would know who you were working with there. It probably
Of
wasn't,
course.
or what's that?
Yeah, I have him on LinkedIn as a friend as well.
Yeah. So it could have been a very like it may not have been a founder directly because they running a large company at that.
Directly? Yeah, is the founder of the project. We actually started with a simple project. Like we're just like, hey Paul, can you design a website for my family?
Mhm.
I was like, family, like he said yes. He wants to design a website for his family whereby they can have all their pictures, their album on the. Well, I said, wow, okay, I can develop that. So then he said he wants a music to be playing while the pictures are showing. I was like, yes, I can do that. Then I he asked me to use Spotify. Then we moved from the Spotify integration to the WordPress development. This is what actually WordPress development work. Then I was able to cover about 3,000 pictures on the WordPress upload, and I was able to integrate the Spotify music playing background right on the. So from that moment, it was like, wow, this is what I want. Then I think he paid that for a 5,000. That was the first project. That was 5,000. He also wants me to have a kind of login page before he can, if anyone try to log in, if anyone try to view the site, they have to log into the website, and then from there I move on to the development. So now after we've completed this particular project, then he said he wants to have it as a website builder. So that was how we move on to the next project, which is
Oh,
building
cool.
of API. And this was my project. I did all this for his family. So, and this is the
Oh, that's excellent.
Spotify integration, whereby we have the playlist and other stuff like that. And I've also worked with so many Mexican guys out there for business listing website and directory. So then we are able to cover this site, and we move on to the bigger one, whereby we are building a website builder. So the website builder was the one we did for about 90,000, 95,000 plus, where Upwork charges take his own part, and the rest was 90,000, it was 91,000. So, and that was actually a good one. That was my first big project, and I was so happy. And that's a great one. And I do something a lot, which is called upselling. Upselling, whereby after I've completed the design work for my customers, I try to talk about the SEO section, the SEO part, and that's really helped me a lot, because talking about the SEO and showing them the result, and when they are getting the right result with their SEO for their business, so it really helps the customer, and they also pay for the result, like they pay for what I'm offering to them, and that's the good one for me. So,
Yeah.
and where I also try to get testimonials from my Upwork clients to my LinkedIn, because I want to focus more on LinkedIn right now. This is a testimonial. Okay, sorry, this is a testimonial from my Upwork guys, and just few of them was able to give me testimonial, but I'm still requesting for more. So
Yeah. Can I ask you a real quick question?
go ahead.
So, in terms of, okay, so you understand like you have a very good grasp of like salesmanship and everything like that. But one of the things that's really important that I think a lot of freelancers miss, and I know this is our first session working together, so like excuse me if I'm not like understanding if you've been doing this already, but I think this is really important for everyone, is that whenever you have a first initial can you just stop your screen from sharing? I'm getting like a really weird feedback thing.
Okay.
There you go. That's cool. Yeah, thanks. So one of the main things that I like to make sure that I do every single time, and I think a lot of freelancers miss out on this, but I think that you've started the process. I just want to make sure that it's really like kind of in the forefront and you're being really like proactive with this, is that whenever you get a project, as you're proceeding through the project, when you get about 75% of the way through it, I want you to start giving 3 options of new projects, right? So if you have the first project, and I'm just going to use these arbitrary numbers, but the first project's 10,000, when you're about finish that project, I want you to present 3 new projects. One that's a small project, like $2,500, and then one around the same size, which is 10, and then one that's a lot higher, that's like 50. And you can kind of vary these numbers as much as you want. If you work on smaller projects more often, it might be $150, and then the low one's 50, and the higher one's 500. But the concept is the same. Is that I just want to make sure that you're always giving the clients something new that they can think about doing, that could kind of like extend the project and branch off. And that's just called lifetime value of clients, right? Or in salesman speak, it's like LTV. So you just kind of want to make sure that whatever you're doing, like as you're completing a project, that you're offering the client like a few new things to do each time. And you did do that very well with the one that started for like, what was it, 3,000 or 5,000, and then it went up to 90. Like that's a big jump, right? And that's probably not very common. But to get a $3,000 or $5,000 project, it would be easy to sell another one that's that size, or sell one that's half the price, or sell one that's double. And that just kind of continues this conversation. Like, you have a lot of individual clients on Upwork. So I want to make sure that, they're not just one client and doing one job and then that's it. You want to do that. You want to work with that client and they give you a great review. Why not present 3 new options to them each time that you're coming near the end, so you can kind of continue this flow. It doesn't just stop. Because a lot of freelancers, what they do is they spend tons of time looking for a project, tons of time selling a project, and then they spend a whole bunch of time working on the project, and then they repeat this process. So like 60% of the time they're stuck in finding and selling a project, and the other 30% they're spent doing it. So it's just this repetitive process of constantly finding new projects over and over, instead of just expanding out what you already have.
You're right. Like you're very, very correct. Like 100%. Like I have a bunch of clients right here on my message room that we've actually worked together. And ever since the time I finished the work, I don't bother to, to contact the client again, except if probably they have issue with their website. Let me go to the contract only. Yeah, okay, right. I have the contract only here. Now, except once I hand the contract, I just believe that maybe they don't need my service anymore. And but right now with what you have just said, I just realized that I can pitch to my clients and tell them I can pitch to my client and tell them if they can, what they need to do, probably their hosting, probably they need to check their website,
Mm.
malware, and so I understand your point perfectly. So I'm going to go back to that. That's the lifetime value. So I think I'll start making use of that. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I never
because
thought
you
of
already
that
have
before.
those clients. Yeah. Okay. So,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't, and I didn't either at the beginning of it, because like when you're a freelancer, you never really think of yourself as anything else. You think of yourself as a web developer, right? But every single
Yeah.
project that you have starts with sales. So you're a salesperson. You're a sales development representative, as the salespeople like to
Wow.
say. You're an SDR. You're an AE, like account executive. You're all those things. So if you
Yeah.
start thinking like that, it gives you such a huge advantage, because like, and I don't even know if you use this feature in Upwork, but most people don't, and I use it all the time, and it converts about 50% of the time. Probably a little bit more. Probably like, actually no, that's a lie. It's not 50. It's probably like 75 plus now. But I use like, and it's available to everybody. So it's
Oh.
called propose a new contract. So inside your contract, as soon as it finishes, there'll be a little link, and it says propose a new contract. So you click that, and then you can send them, oh, hey, I think a great next project would be, like you just said, the malware check. Here's you just send them the contract. It's their option if they want to go ahead with it, right? So you're not
Yeah.
forcing, yeah, you're not forcing anybody to do anything. Like, you're not costing the client any money. You're just lining something up that they can do next, right?
Wow. Wow.
So
Wow. Wow.
So
Wow.
what you should do is, like, I would go through all of your recent contracts that you've done and just propose something new to each one, because they do
Wow.
have very high conversion rates, because they've already worked with you. They've been happy with the work. They don't know that, as like freelancers, we tend to think that, we've done this big project for them, but it's a really important part of their life, but they usually like use it, but they're not thinking about it all the time like you're thinking about it, right? Because you're a professional.
Good.
So
Good.
you have a very narrow focus, right? And I just want you to open up your focus in terms of, and give yourself more of a salesperson feel, because that's what freelancers have to do, like, in order to make more money and get more projects, is we have to sell new projects. So use all the features you have at like 75% of the
Yeah.
way through each one, propose 3 new ones. When you finish the contract, propose a new contract and just send it to them, because it doesn't hurt. It shows that you're thinking about it, and you're like, oh, hey, I have this really great idea. You can present a 1 sentence idea and say, this is how much it'll cost to implement. And if you know basically what the client's comfortable spending, you can and you're reasonably priced, there's no real reason that they wouldn't go with it, you know?
Of
It's
course,
just
of course.
yeah, freelancers always mess that kind of part up, and I did for years, and I wish someone had told me this because I never
Wow.
like I always was so happy finishing a project and getting like 5-star review and then being like,
Exactly.
yes, I'm done. And then that's it. And then I don't continually sell, right? You drop off.
Wow.
But every sales development rep is probably going to laugh at this when we're talking about it because that's their job. That's what they think about all the time. They're always following up, always offering new services, right? Especially if someone's already bought.
Wow, you just give me something that is much more valuable tonight. Like I'm so impressed. I'm really really happy. And
That's great.
let me just chip let me just chip this in. I also started something recently. I wish I knew this before now because and that was the affiliate marketing with Elementor Pro. And previously, I would just send my customer the link to go and purchase the tools, whatever tools I need to use to the develop for the design. Take for example, I want to design just a simple business website for a client. I just tell them to get the plugin Elementor Pro. I'll send them the link, send them what to buy, and they'll send me the login. When they purchase that, then recently I thought about why not send them my affiliate link
Yeah.
and get
Yeah, I do that all the
compensation for
time. Yeah.
that. So right now I started doing that, and I was able to have like three conversion. I made up to that really really convert properly. Like I've already all the 3 to 4 website I have recently. I send them the link and they purchase that, and I have the conversion already. So that was it was a great result for me. Everything converted. So they purchased the
Yeah.
link. They purchased by the link, and so I wish I knew this before now because I would have used that for all. But but I'm so happy that I learned on my I learned that on my own.
Yeah, a lot of people don't do that. They don't sell the tools that they're using, and that's just another part of, that you need to make sure that you're wrapping your head around when you're doing this type of work is that virtually every software as a service tool has some sort of affiliate program. I know Elementor is
Yes,
very good. I think it's what, like 200, $250 for each one you sell.
yes.
Like it's a
That's
good chunk. Like
It's
I
a
don't
good one.
know.
That's for the
Yeah.
affiliate. That's for the cloud server now. They're having a
Hmm.
cloud hosting.
Yeah, and like Shopify, I think it's like the minimum I make on a Shopify site when I transfer the site to a client, I think it's like $5 a month, but it goes up to like 80 to $100 a month or something like that. So whenever I do a Shopify site, I transfer the ownership to them. I build it on my partner site, which is like an affiliate part, and then I always receive like $5 to $80 a month for it. Doesn't cost a
Oh,
client anything extra, but I just make that affiliate fee, right? And I sell them, the SEO tools that I work with, like Surfer SEO. I sell them, SEMrush. I sell Monday, like the project management tools. So, as a
yes,
freelancer, all these tools. I sell Adobe and Lucid Chart and all these other ones, and I put them on my blog too. And you want to just make sure that all these little opportunities that you have are adding up, right? And they start compounding.
yes, yes. You're right. Well, so far I was able to gather up to 3 sales, and that was my recent project, and I was able to get up to that was about 90 and 75 because each of the sales conversion is 25
Hmm.
$24.50 for the Elementor. So that's
Yeah.
a good one. That's a
Oh
good
no, it's
one.
fantastic. They all have it.
Yeah.
Like honestly, Shopify pays my rent, and I don't pay rent.
Wow.
Shopify pays rent. And it's
Wow.
funny.
That's
It's really funny that you think they like a lot of like when I was starting out as a freelancer, I never thought about any of these types of things, right? But then all of a sudden, I was like, I'm gonna see how much I can leverage this because I use like you use WordPress and Elementor, which is its own thing and it's totally cool. I use Shopify and custom development, so it's you just have, and that's, oh yeah, you use Partner Stack as well. So there's a bunch of those different ones. So and you can put in like Monday.com in there. There's probably a whole ton that they recommend for
yeah,
you, and I would do them all because if you use
yeah,
the product, like you use Elementor, so you believe in it. I use Shopify, and I believe in that. So I'm not selling the client something that they're not going to use. Like I use Shopify every single day. I use Adobe every
Exactly.
single day. I use
Yes.
Surfer SEO every single day.
Yes.
So I use these tools. I like these tools. I actually pay for all of them, but I also sell them to clients if they're asking like, what tools do you need? So that ends up being its own type of profit thing and its own way of just covering all your bills and just, just being easy because it goes on forever, like Shopify, like I did Shopify so long ago. I think I started my website about 6 years ago and I started doing Shopify probably right at the beginning of Shopify. And when they had a program at the beginning, it was a lot more profitable now than it was. But I think some like basic websites that I built way back are still paying me like $5 a month. They've paid me well more than the actual cost of the website development and design. So like way like 10 years ago, I don't know when Shopify started, but it was more than 6 years ago because my website's been on Shopify the whole time. And I was charging like $1,000 for a Shopify website back then. And those Shopify websites that I did way back then that are still running have paid off like, on some of them
Because
that are on like advanced packages, like they've paid me like $3,000 or $4,000 just on affiliates over those many years, right? But
yeah,
it's still money, it's like I'm
exactly.
not going to say no to it, especially if like Shopify sends me a PayPal payment like every week now. Like it's kind of crazy. It's great, and the Elementor does the same thing.
Exactly.
I don't sell Elementor because I don't use it, but like in your case, it would just be the same sort of thing.
Yes,
So
exactly.
I would choose like 5 good tools that you use all the time. Because if you're using SEO, you're using Ahrefs, you're using SEMrush,
Yes.
you're probably using Surfer SEO. So there's
Yes.
3 tools that have their own affiliates that you could give to clients that they'll use and get value out of. So,
Yes.
it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well,
GoDaddy has affiliates for domain names,
yeah,
so
Dreamhost, Bluehost and
mhm.
Dreamhost also do the same thing. Yep, you're right. So I'm going to work more on my freelance affiliate marketing section. By the way, regarding the
Mhm.
LinkedIn, I think I need to work with what you have just said. I'm going to use all the tools, all the search way of
Mhm.
searching job on LinkedIn, using the right keyword from my recruiter, using them right on my own profile to land a job on LinkedIn. I'm going to do that. And I did something recently that really converts. Let me show you. Um, right on my LinkedIn, yep. So right on my LinkedIn, everything happened on my profile. What I did was I changed my wallpaper, cover paper images. I changed it to this, and I added my
Mhm.
email. So the
Yeah.
moment I did this, I got a message from a new company, and they were like me to start with them. Let me show you that. So I was so surprised, but that really convert for me. So I got the mail instantly, and this was the message, and I was able to reply, and I got another response, and I'm waiting for your trial assignment so that I can start the project with them. So this that actually convert also this. I mean,
Mhm. Yeah,
adding
those are
your
very good.
email.
I would
Yes.
probably just the only kind of feedback I would have for you on that was just to make the information bigger so people can see it. Because if you open up that on your phone, it's probably going to be like really small. You want to be able to read it on your phone because
Yeah.
most people are going to be on their phone. And I'm not sure, like on my one, if you go to my profile, it's this one, yours is probably going to be fine. Yeah, okay, it gets cut off a little bit there.
Yes.
So
I'm going to work on that.
so I would shift it over to the side and then just make it all a little bit bigger, so you can read it like at a glance, especially the good stuff like, your email. Make sure that's nice and bold and big. I put it right into the headline of mine. So it's so my website's actually right in my headline. I took my email
Okay.
off of there, but and I just put my website. I thought it was a bit better, but I test that kind of stuff all the time. So, I want to see like what the difference is between doing this and doing that or something else, So I would just be wary of like optimizing it for like size, just readability. Like at a glance, if someone goes to your profile, like I want to be able to see, okay, this person wants me to contact them on email, like the email should be real big and bold.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Hmm.
How often is the conversion on LinkedIn? Because the only conversion I got on LinkedIn was that was I think there it is. This conversion I got on LinkedIn was to design. I mean, to redesign a landing page. I think I got that for 3,000. I made a landing page for a website right here on LinkedIn, and she just messaged me. I didn't really know her. I didn't really get to know how why she just sent me a message, and I just tried to convert her. I didn't know where she come from, and I didn't apply for any job.
Yeah.
So how often
Yeah.
can I get conversion like this?
Well, honestly, I think it's I like I've been I've been a big proponent of Upwork. Like I love the platform and I think it's a great platform. But a few years ago, I got really kind of freaked out about it. So over the last year, I've and the only reason I was getting freaked out about it was that all of my work was coming from it. Like 99% of the work that I did was coming from Upwork, and I always want to diversify just in case something happens. Someone steals my account, something. I don't want to start from scratch if that happens. So I always want to make sure that I'm pretty well diversified. Like your website's a nice website now. You've got the blog post on there, so you're going to start ranking for search. So there's not a lot you can do there other than pay for ads, which I don't really recommend freelancers do because there's a lot of other ways to get traffic. But I would try to diversify as much as you could between LinkedIn, Upwork, Fiverr, whichever ones you want to work on, but at least have like three good ones. You have a good website, so I would call that one. You've got great Upwork. I would make sure that I would do that. But if your conversions aren't great on LinkedIn, just make sure that you're really paying attention to the keywords that you're using throughout your profile, because all of the work that I've gotten on LinkedIn has come in through people organically searching and finding something that I did or directly to my profile. They'll type in like freelance graphic design, and then they'll find me and they'll be like, "Oh, can you design
Wow.
my logo? Can you design my website?" So making sure that you do that is really important. Because for things like search appearances, you want to try to get that up there as high as you can. But search appearances also seems to be really tied to the amount that you post. So if you post like twice a day, your search appearances go way up. But if you post once a week, they go way down. So, I'm just, and I don't really have a ton of time, unfortunately, to be like one of those people that posts like 3 or 4 times a day and like constantly writing for LinkedIn. But I try to do now like once a day, and then it really increases my search appearances. So I would really optimize whatever you're talking about for the services you provide, especially when in regards to the benefits that your services provide, not just the services, because that's kind of tough. So
Yeah,
like,
I think I got the point. I got your point. Yeah, I got that point properly. So yes, I think I got that. I think what we just need to do is kind of making a case study of a client that actually moved from the old website to the new website, which I designed, and trying to tell them how much the website converts and trying to give them the benefits behind my services. So with that, I can get other conversion.
mhm,
So I think I get that.
yeah,
Well, the freelancing world is really really a good one because I've been able to have my own freedom. I was able to sponsor myself for my schooling throughout my year, and
that's
I was
awesome.
I was able to I was able to go get myself a ride, and I was able to start up my home building. building in my own state, that's Nigeria.
Amazing.
Uh, so I was done with that. I was able to accomplish a lot with my freelancing career. And when I registered, that was last year, 2021 February, and I was able to achieve a lot because I'm just so happy. And the moment I get back to Nigeria account, I find it so very very difficult. If I have my way to talk to the CEO or the co-founder of Upwork, I'm going to talk about the restriction with US. I mean, I don't. It's not good on its own side. Like you have to have some kind of restriction. US job only. You can apply for
Yeah,
US job. That's kind of
that's really
why.
dictated by the people hiring, though, right? Like, there's nothing we can do about that. So, we have to work around it and just make sure that you know we're doing the best we can with it because and that's one of the reasons, like there's a lot, like every platform is going to have its downsides, but
Okay.
clients also have to feel comfortable that they're hiring the people that they want to hire too. So like having that sorting method where it's like US, like if you're a client you want to only search for like US people. um, One of the other things you may want to do that might help you there is that, like, going back to where I was talking about picturing yourself on the timeline of things, is that, a founder who's hiring for a website developer may only think of website developers from their area. So they may only do that. But farther into the project, like a technical director or a marketing director or someone that you're working with like very closely, like a graphic designer, is probably going to be, who already works remotely, is probably going to be a lot more comfortable hiring from wherever, right? Like one of the developers that I've worked with for like 6 years now, he's from India, and it's been amazing because, you know, had I looked for only a developer in Canada or the United States, the problem is that I've got to work with the developer during that day, which takes a lot of my time, right? But the great thing about
Okay.
working with an overseas developer, if you're in like North America based, is that you can go through your day, you can make all the tasks that you want completed, send it to them that night, and then when you wake up the next morning, it's all done. And that's the great thing that I find that's really advantageous about hiring like a developer from Africa or India or Pakistan or anywhere that's not like North America in that time zone, is that you can just send out these projects and then they're done the next day, and it's perfect because it doesn't interrupt your day at all, because I'm busy doing graphic design. I don't want to, like, I like my programmer and everything, but I don't want to hear from them all day and go back and forth because it just takes time out of the work that I have to do, right? So, you kind of have to start communicating more of the advantages of working with an overseas developer, and that would be one of them. So that would be like benefit writing for, your customer profiles. So start thinking about people who would find that beneficial.
All right, perfect. I think I understand now. I think I get that now. Thank you so much. I'm so impressed. Like I'm really really impressed. I I'm really impressed for this value I got from you, like proposing a
That's
new
awesome.
contract. Yeah, I'm so happy. I never thought of this proposing a new contract. I only use it for ongoing contracts, but now I think it's a great one to, it's a great value.
Yeah,
It is a great
it could
value.
it could bring you a
It's
lot
really,
in terms of Upwork. Is like, just go back to like your contracts over the last, like, I don't know, 3 months. It might be weird if you go like way back to like a few years ago where people and just propose a new contract, but just drop in and just say like, here's three things that I think you should do, you know, or send them a new
yeah.
proposal for a new contract and just use the tools that you have. Think of yourself as a salesperson and just kind of continue these projects along.
Well, I'm gonna do that. I'll make sure I do that today. Thank you so
Excellent.
much. I'm so impressed. It's gonna convert. I believe it's gonna convert. I have
I
I
believe
have a
too.
full belief that it's gonna convert for me. Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
All right. All right. I would like you to send me the mission record, and I'm going to explore other freelancing website today. Explore
Yeah.
Fiverr. I'm going to explore people per hour. Do if Is there a way I can achieve something like that? So, but I'm going to keep to my portfolio, and also I'm going to keep to my blogging because I love
Yeah.
blogging right from time. I love blogging so much. I love blogging
It's a
so
great
much.
it's a great way
And
of
blogging
developing traffic.
SEO, yes. And also I realized that having a blog with Hezoic, um, with private media, Mediavine, as like Google AdSense, it also convert and give a passive income while you're not working. You know, you can just be getting your traffic and you get your conversion. Also get your earning on Google AdSense or any advertising agent website. So I think I'm going to stick to that because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to leverage my earning with my online resources. So from there, I can move on to other stuff like a physical business in my hometown because that's my next stage now. I want to move into physical business, but currently I really love the online business I'm into, and I also learned some things on affiliate marketing. Recently, I learned that from Income School. Those guys are really great.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Yeah, I
see.
watch them
I'm
too.
trying to yeah, I'm trying to see a way I can come in and get an affiliate blog, but I don't want to put so many things in line. I just want to take it step by step. So once I'm
Hmm.
done with my first stage, then I move on to the next one. I move on to the next one. I move on to the next one. So thank you so much. I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. I'm really
Great.
yeah, because I never thought of this lifetime value proposing a new contract. I've never thought of it before.
Yeah,
Wow.
most freelancers don't because they get so focused on what they are as a freelancer, like designer, developer, writer, whatever you want to call it, that they forget that it all starts with sales, and every single
Yeah.
project does. So, yeah, use it to your advantage.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome, Paul.
Yeah, I'm really happy. Thank you so much. I'm going to share this video with my colleague. I'm
Great.
going to tell them about the meeting. So I hope they're going to learn from that. So probably if you have a group or class, probably anytime you have that, we would like to join your class. And
Cool.
yes, in case I need any other consultation, I'm going to book and I'm going to pay for the consultation because I didn't pay for this, but I got a biggest value of my life. Like I got it. I'm so happy. I'm going to drop a review for that
Great.
on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it,
Yeah.
Paul.
Yes.
Have a good
Thank you
day.
so much for your time. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.